I've thought a lot about this. I consider that, in the writer's workshop there are these two cabinets, and one of them is full of things like luck, talent, experience, things you can't do anything about. And the other one is craft. And that's, the kinds of tools that any writer can use. Some people have access to that first cabinet, in a way that others don't. But first of all, research is the very first thing. If you're going into that cabinet and pulling out the boxes that are full of all the tools you need, research is the first box you pull out. And I'm always intrigued by the fact that the truth is much more interesting than stuff that you make up. And oftentimes you can't keep up with the reality. I mean, in Mr. Texas, that's certainly true. Texas politics are bizarre. And, to try to satirize them, it's better if you surf on the wave that they create than to try to imagine a whole different political scene. And so I research, of course, my nonfiction extensively, but I've written a lot of plays, and this is my third novel. So I research those as intensely as I do a New Yorker story. And that gives me the authority to write about something as if it is real. And as a reader, for me to follow along, it has to be plausible. It has to feel like this could really happen, and these characters are, people that could exist. And the way that I start with, is by doing the research. And then there are narrative tricks. You talk about page turning. One of the things that helps that is something a friend of mine told me a long time ago. He called it the rubber band theory, which is if you pose a question, you don't answer it right away. You set it into the reader's mind, and then the reader will then say, and then what? What happens? And you don't answer it right away. You refresh it every once in a while. Remember, we still don't know the answer to this, but and then the more that you can charge that with a sense of meaning, the more exciting it is for the reader when you finally let the rubber band loose and answer that question. And that's what keeps the pages turning, a lot of it. I have tricks with note cards and stuff like that. I use note cards for research. I use note cards to outline. Sometimes, instead of lining everything up in a single line, I just write out scenes and ideas and then lay them out and then try to move them into a logical fashion. And that way you can get the story lined up, and you can see where you have big blanks, and you can see where you got too much, and you move things around. And those are just some of the craft things that any writer can do.